So I'm here to talk to you about Maker Faire. How many people here have been to a Maker Faire? Just raise your hands. Hardly anyone. All right, well, so it's going to be totally new for you. Basically, it's an enormous gathering of people who are interested in making things, and it's kind of technology related, so it's a lot of things, robots and quadcopters and electronics and stuff like that. And it started originally in San Francisco in the Bay Area in about 2006. There was a gathering of, I think, maybe 10,000 people or so, which in Maker Faire world is kind of small. This is a picture of the one that was in Toronto 2 years ago. We had about 3,000 people come out, and we had maybe 50 exhibitors, people from Toronto who make something interesting. They come to the fair and they show and tell, basically, right? You have a little table and you set up what's on it, and you, try to convince people that they should make similar things. And lots of things that happen at Maker Fairs are things like 3D printers, like you're just seeing here. So it's devices that take 3D data files in a computer and turn them into real objects. Currently, the affordable ones at a hobbyist level are somewhere between $500 and $2,000, depending on the quality that you want. And they print small plastic objects, usually up to the size of about a basketball now is the largest ones are possible. And lots of people make interesting things. That 3D printer is particularly interesting. It uses like a syringe system, so it actually is capable of printing food. People use it mostly to print chocolate, so you can print intricate 3D designed chocolate pieces and then eat them. and the other thing that happens in Maker Faire traditionally is shows. So this is EP Bird with their Diet Coke and Mentos show. You know what happens when you put a Mentos into a bottle of Diet Coke is it fumes up. Yeah, well, so they took that idea, and instead of having one bottle of Diet Coke, they have like 500. And then they have an intricate system where they attach little slides to the bottle so that they can pull out dozens of bottles at once using strings, and they have a choreographed show. I asked them once too, why do they use Diet Coke and not real Coke? And it turns out Diet Coke is not sticky. This is very important when you have to clean it up later. So this is an example of some of the really high-end robots that people are making. There's an entire club in the United States for building R2-D2 robots, which is totally awesome, like fully functional. Although it turns out that some things can't actually be replicated. Like, for instance, the little widget that comes out of the robot, it turns out you can't actually make that happen because the people in the movie, they had an R2-D2 who didn't have it, and they had one who did, and when they wanted it out, they would just swap them and have a cut in the movie. It's not capable of swinging out. I'm like, man, who knew? But I mean, this is the kind of things that you learn when you get really serious about trying to build a replica of something that's in the movies, right? You discover some things are not possible. This is an example of a small quadcopter. It's about the size of your palm. These things have been all over Maker Fairs in recent years. Basically, it's a device with 4 little spinning blades, and it lifts up, and people have been doing really awesome photography with them. So it's called first-person video, FPV. And you can go, if you search for that on YouTube, you can find all these incredible videos of like people zooming their quadcopters around with a camera on it. And you can even get like a heads-up display and be like live flying with them. Hell of an experience. I've tried that. Yeah. Yeah. And this show is also really incredible. There's a group of people who build mock battleships with real BB guns shooting little lead pellets, and they build a boat so that the BB guns can actually sink the boats, and then they have contests at Maker Faire and lots of other places where they try to sink each other's boats in about a foot of water so that after it's sunk you can still get it back. But the most important thing that happens at Maker Faire is there's hands-on experiences. So you can sit down and you can learn how to solder. That's what's happening here. Or there's all kinds of pieces. The bigger ones I've seen, they'll have like an area the size of this room, and all it is like 2 million pieces of Lego, and kids are in there just going nuts. And electronics is kind of like my first hobby, so I'm hoping to be able to teach a few people how to do more than just solder, how to like actually make circuits and do interesting things like that. This is also an incredible show. So this is Adam Savage, I think, and he is in a Faraday cage, which makes him safe from 2 million volt Tesla coils, which is the thing you see. Yeah, and steampunk also has a big presence at Maker Faire. It's kind of like a combination of science fiction and Victorian age technology. So the idea is to have all these like really intricate, gear widgets and huge honking guns and just incredible costumes from Victorian area period. And people build entire moving houses and stuff. It's a big show. This is a steampunk guitar. I think actually it's playable, but I don't think anything does anything except the strings, sadly. So anyway, the point of this talk is we are bringing Maker Faire to Toronto again. Sometime in the fall, we'll be at a large venue in Toronto. If anybody has any ideas on a venue, we would really love to hear it. Because we've been looking for quite a while. We thought we had one, but it kind of fell through. Really, we want large indoor space and large outdoor space so that whatever the project, whether you've got, a gigantic beating heart with flame effects or a little electronics project that's best on a desk or flying robots, whatever it is, we want to be able to have space for it so that you can show it off to the public. And, this is actually my favorite project from Toronto 2011. It's an Obama organ. So you press each key and the key makes the word in Obama's voice. You go, yes, we can. Yeah. or any other Obama speech you want. It turns out, of course, they really only use about 100 words. So. And this is HackLab's booth from Mini Maker Faire Toronto 11. So HackLab is a technology community in Kensington Market here in Toronto that I'm president of, and we teach people how to solder and do things like that. And that's kind of like my interest in the field. And I really got into this whole thing and became president partly because of my early experiences at Maker Faire. So I encourage you all to come out sometime this fall or talk to me if you're interested in having a booth or giving a talk or doing anything like that at the fair.